the final frontier of free speech. I'm going to let Sierra take the honors of introducing our next guest, although I'm really excited to talk to her.
Okay, so I'm going to move the camera. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I feel kind of like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Hit record on TV. I love that adorable little face. So we have with us Gloria Parker. She wrote a book called Meeting Robin. Please dismiss the dog-eared look of this page.
It's been all over with me.
She's been destroying it. I found Gloria on a trade mag called Radio Television Interview Report, which I get because I work in radio. And I emailed her because I read the synopsis of her book. I went to her website, I checked it out, and it was right after we had done like 4 weeks of transgender models.
We have a lot of transgender friends of the show. In fact, we got a couple of our friends coming in next week.
Oh,
yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've dubbed her the tranny nanny.
All the tran girls in town call me the tranny nanny. And because, it's not a sexually, I am just so... I want to know all the backstory. So that's why your book is so good, because you take us from when your little boy was a very, very, born, and all through his life and what he went through. And I don't want to tell all the stories. So I'm going to let you tell the synopsis of the book, or Gloria, whoever wants to kind of let the audience know. I know, but I don't want to. I could take away this interview because I'm so excited.
No,
but I don't want to.
You're the one who's read the book. I read the synopsis and everything, and I sent her. It wasn't her actually. It was her agent.
It was my publicist.
Yeah, her publicist an email, and I was like, oh my God, I really want to get her on. Sweet Cheeks is gonna love me if I get her on. And then I got rejections from the other 2 authors that I had sent because we're a little racy, and
So we're glad you had the guts to come on, Gloria.
I warn people. I make them go online and listen to the show. I send a link to the website because it's we've had people come in here without being forewarned and walk out before their interview because they can't handle how racy the show gets. So I warn people up ahead of time because I'm I don't want you on here and then getting all offended because we say fuck.
And we talk about sex.
And we say fuck a lot. We do.
I counted. Sitting up there. There was a lot.
And it was a lot. But she said, yeah, she'll be excited. She's going to be in studio in March. I'm like, yeah. So, and then I told Sweet Cheeks and gave her the book, and she was like, I love you.
I have been counting down the weeks, Gloria, for you to get here.
Oh, you're such a dog.
I have.
For the longest time.
I know.
Yeah.
I was asking Gloria, and we were talking before on air, and Sierra's like, don't talk about this stuff till we get out of here. But the book is written from an outside person looking in. And at first I thought, because her son was born Robert, and Robert is now Robin, and this book tells of all his childhood years and there was a lot of traveling, a lot of people in and out.
There was a lot. I was in show business.
Right, exactly. And Grandma and Grandpa were wonderful people in Texas.
They were wonderful
Mama and Papa, you know what I loved about that? Because my grandparents are Mama and Papa.
Oh, see, there you are.
So, but it's told, and I started thinking as I'm reading the book, who is telling the story? So for a minute I thought, oh, this is Robin telling the story about Robert, because it tells it and then you and your grandma and grandpa went to, that's how it's told. Like someone's telling Robin the story of her life. That's how it's written. And then I thought, well, maybe it's Robin, because until then, Robert starts experimenting with trying on his mother's clothing.
Yes.
And then she's like, so Robin wasn't telling the story. And you were trying to tell us that.
Well, it's interesting. It was a really tough voice to find, because if I wrote it third person, well, then I wouldn't be in touch with who he was. I'd be outside. It would be like a fairy tale.
Right.
If I told it first person, well, I can't tell his side of the story. And yet I wasn't in everything. So there are 3 voices.
Right.
There's the mother's voice, who in a way, it's a love letter. I think of the book as a love letter. It was a long transition for me to accept.
And I think it was almost an apology for some of the hard times that he went through.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because you were busy, and I'm not, mothers are busy. She was in show business, so Robert was a lot with his loving grandparents. It wasn't like you deserted him in any way.
Hey, I have a friend who said to me, you weren't a very good mother. But my child says, she, I will get to that in a minute, really respects me. and would not be who she is if it were not for her mother.
And wouldn't have changed anything.
No.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't have changed. Absolutely. It wouldn't have
Well,
changed
through the
anything.
whole book, even though
Yeah.
there was a lot of distance between you guys, a lot,
The
two of you, like, there was always that love. Like,
Was
he
it
would
our
wait for the phone to
bond?
ring. Yeah.
I heard you all talking about your children. So I got that it's, there is a bond, and you can't deny the bond that's between a parent and
A child.
child.
Right.
So
So that voice that's telling the story
the voice is me, as though I were writing a letter to my child.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's Robin who speaks.
Right. And her stuff is written in italics.
And
Yeah.
then there's also the very first piece you open to is Robert speaking.
Right.
Talking about a dream that he had, and he was female in it, and just knew that he always would be female, like he had made that choice a long time ago.
You never had a clue?
Golly, remember when this was?
Right.
I was in the
70s, right?
And no, it was something so under wraps. I don't think I'd even seen somebody transgender.
Right.
So in the back of my mind, I knew something was different. And I thought, okay, well,
Maybe he's
probably
gay.
he's gay. That's cool, But then when it came out much later and we both discovered, he didn't know either. He didn't know what to think of what he felt, only that he was ashamed of it.
Well, and he didn't really until he moved to Hollywood. At some point, he moved to Hollywood, and he started looking in his neighborhood and seeing transgender
That's
people.
right.
And that's when but
He
all
knew.
along, as a little boy, like 8 years old, he was sneaking into his mom, the actress closet with these beautiful heels and dresses, and in secret trying them on. So he knew from a very young age.
Well, he heard, as you know in the book, she was there. I used to think he had an imaginary friend.
It was Robin.
It was Robin. Robin was there, and it took me a long time to understand. Transgender, gay, all of that, and I'm sure you've talked about that with a lot of people you've talked with. It's not a choice.
No,
It's
no.
not something that somebody just arbitrarily says, oh, gee, I want to wear those clothes.
Right.
It's something that is a part of them from the very beginning. It's like that soul got put in the wrong body.
That's what we've found with all of our friends that have come into the studio and talked to us. It's just something that, like,
right.
is
And
great.
Yeah, it's not like they woke up one day and said, you know what, gee, I think I might be in the wrong body. They kind of know from the very beginning.
It's all out of kilter.
Well, and when he got older, like even when he was like, he was going through electrolysis. He hadn't made a decision to have the gender change, but he was dressing like a woman when he went out. He still didn't know if he was gay or straight. He said, I'm not really attracted to men, but I haven't really been with a woman either, but I find women beautiful. So I'm going to jump ahead because I don't know. Is she now a bisexual woman or, because at the point I'm at the book, he's like, maybe I'm bisexual.
Well, once he said to me, he said, I think I'm a guy that's a girl and I'm a lesbian. And then he went, no,
That's
maybe
like Diamond D, our
Yeah.
friend Diamond D, who's a transgender.
He was so confused. But no, I think when he is now, Robin, is female, she can be attracted to the men that she's attracted to.
Okay.
And she actually likes transgender. So that lesbian element is there. She is attracted to other transgenders.
Whether they're male or female.
Whether they're male or
That's
female.
awesome.
So I guess you would say that's bi.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest thing was to sort out sex.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's very difficult to sort out sex, but that is something that is a part. It's like, who am I? But as a guy, he was not attracted to guys.
Right.
He was attracted to, actually, he'd have been attracted to you. He loved cute little blue-eyed blondes.
Oh, there we go.
Well,
Everyone's attracted to
saying,
glitz.
That's why in the book, he kept saying like he didn't know which way to go. I mean, with the whole thing and stuff. I want to ask you about when Robert told you, I've been dressing in your clothes since you're at a restaurant for your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
and he said, I've been dressing in your clothes, Mom, since you're 8, and I really feel like I'm in the wrong body. And you said, okay, dear, that'll pass.
Yeah.
So at what point did it all sink in, and how, I haven't come to the time in the book where you've come to that,
Realization,
the realization, like, okay, this is okay. You're still trying to convince him it's a phase.
I'm not really proud of the way I reacted, nor am I proud of the way I reacted for the next few years. I couldn't deal with it. It didn't make sense to me. I was absolutely sure that there had to be some mix-up, or he was just confused, or he was being influenced by some wacky friends, and
and he had some wacky friends.
Oh, he had some wacky friends, and that it just couldn't be. So it was very difficult for me until he started sending books to me.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, well, during the time period then, I think it would be I'm assuming a lot different from now, where there are support groups and
there was nothing.
Different.
Yeah.
And I was embarrassed. I had a really, really good friend whose son, I swear they grow in that garden where they become doctors. Baseball players.
This is the one he would run to talk to.
Yeah,
the woman.
They throw those guys. Well, her son was perfect, and then there was mine, who was dressing in my clothes. And I was having.
Why can't you be a doctor?
Yeah, exactly. Where's my doctor? I just settled for a lawyer even. But it was funny. The bottom line. This was someone that was one of the greatest loves of my life, was my child.
Right.
So I knew that I had to come to some sort of understanding, somehow, some way.
Make a peace.
So I read everything he sent me.
You did read all the For those of you who don't know what happened is she sent him, after they had this dinner, and she, honey, you'll get over it. It's a phase. She sent him book. I can't remember the first one.
It was Conversations with God.
God, that's right. And so he sends her all these transgender magazines he had stuffed under his mattress. And then she sent some more. So you did end up reading those and looking at the pictures and understanding it?
And he also sent me a couple books that were stories of different people who had transgendered. And I was so touched and so moved by who these people were and their plight and the way they'd been treated in the world that I said, no way. If that's who my son is, if my son is Robin, then hey, I'm behind Robin 100%.
And when did you get this revelation?
It took a while. I vacillated quite a bit. I will tell you, back and forth. And I still, even after I said I'm going to stand behind her, I still didn't want her to go meet my friends. Not invited to my parties, and certainly not invited to my parties as Robin. Then Robin and a friend of hers went to one of my husband, the sitcoms actors.
And by the way, Robin, when Robin was Robert, did not care for the sitcom actor. He liked the stepfather better.
Much better.
Gloria's had several husbands. Several husbands.
Lord, she sounds like Sweet Cheeks.
I've only had 2. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
You got a few more to catch up.
Yeah, I'll do the Elizabeth Taylor. So that's part of the whole thing that Robert went through. But so I assume Robin and the sitcom actor have a better relationship now.
They have a great relationship.
Good.
As a matter of fact, Robin thinks that the sitcom actor is pretty funny.
Good.
And even said once, Mom, I see what you see in him.
Oh, that's cute.
He's pretty cute.
That's good.
So that was, it worked out. But, it was very hard for us. But we did make it. We did, and you'll see at the end of the book.
I am you guys, I've only this much till I get done. So I'm
well, I don't think I'll cheat a little bit, but it won't give it away.
No, I'm still going to read it to the end, Gloria.
The end of the book has to do with the title of the book.
Oh, okay. Meeting Robin.
Because remember, if you kind of look at the book, you'll realize I never met Robin.
Right, you never did.
I knew about Robin.
Right, but Robin.
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah.
Never met Robin. And there is a very touching scene.
Oh, I got goosebumps too because I can't wait.
Yeah.
Now, here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
Did you meet Robin before the gender change surgery or after?
He has not had, or she has not had the full surgery.
Okay.
She is hormones and all of the other things.
Probably breast
and
augmentation. I know
yes,
she had their facial
yes,
hair all removed.
all of that.
Okay.
And is it's still a toss up. You know,
Now, is she as beautiful as you? Because in the book they say she looks a lot like you.
she does look like me, and she is very pretty.
I bet. I
Yeah,
bet.
she's very pretty. I'm prejudiced, but she's very pretty.
Yeah, but look at the picture of Gloria on the book. Gloria
Yeah.
was a stunner. Come on, girl.
Was.
Still
is.
are. I say still is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, tomorrow's a birthday. I needed that.
So let me ask, because I know sometimes, being that I don't know as many transgender individuals
Oh,
as
you will.
say as say Sweet Cheeks, and then your child, but the pronoun, I know it can be very sensitive.
It's the biggest question I get.
Yes. So
the
is there
pronoun.
something you could share with us regarding the pronoun that is appropriate and
Well, the pronoun
comfortable?
now is she.
Right.
But for me, it was very difficult to say she, as you can see, because it was my he.
For how many? 20-some years.
Yeah.
But
so
if,
it was my
if
he.
you're referring then to
But
her when she was a child,
Was
then
he.
it's okay to
That's right.
reference he.
and
Good
that was he
question.
because that was but then now she's she. She's my daughter. I actually got a son and his daughter out of one.
You got, well, you know what? And I've raised both daughters and sons. Okay, and let me tell you, boys are much easier when they're young. The girls, when they go through puberty, forget it. So you actually did it the right way.
Well, thank you. I think it probably wasn't that easy because, unfortunately, and I don't know about all transgender people, but I suspect there's a great deal of torment.
Yeah.
And certainly
There
in the
has.
70s, there's a tremendous amount of torment that these people go through. And I'd love to say that here we are in 2014 and that our society is open. And yes, you're right, it is
It's
more
better.
open.
It's better.
Better. Las Vegas is certainly a place, and LA and West Hollywood, but
It's still prejudice.
we're not there yet.
No.
I have friends who are I'm from more the East Coast originally, and I have friends where it's still, they're still shamed and tormented over being gay.
Yeah.
Because it's
Exactly.
not accepted there.
Shit, that's just being gay.
Right?
I know.
Yeah,
So
exactly. That's just being gay. And we say now that's just being gay, but we've just started to get some of those rights, haven't we? I mean,
Right,
marriage
you're
and
right.
a lot of other things.
Exactly.
It was not so good even 20 years ago. It was not so good.
That's my whole, why I'm such a tranny nanny is because I just can't fathom that torment. I mean, I'm a girl. I know I'm a girl. There's no question. I like to put my lipstick on. I like to have my nails done. There's no question. I put it in my brain when I start thinking of what these kids go through.
Yeah.
That's another question I want to ask you. Right now, there's a great thing in all the media about children, 5, 6 years old, little boys that want to wear tutus and put their walls pink, and little girls that want to cut their hair short and wear boys' clothes. How do you feel about that? Like, I mean, there's a part of me that says, let these kids express themselves. What would you, if he'd have come to you, but it's a different day today. If you had a child today that came to you at 6 years old and said, a little boy, Mommy, I really want a pink tutu and I want my room to be pink and purple.
Well, there's an Indian custom, the Bardash Indians, the Indians, and they call this phenomenon Bardash. And what that meant was it was twin souls. There were twin spirits. Yeah.
Oh.
Twin souls. And they revered those people. But what they did is at a certain age, they were allowed to pick. And the story that I read was they would even light a teepee. They would send the child in, and before this teepee could burn, they would grab what they wanted. It was either male things or female things, and they would grab it out. And that gave that child made its choice and was allowed to stick by that choice. But they changed
That's
it.
kind of
That was
very
fine.
cool.
Isn't that cool?
I have a coworker who's Native American and he's gay, and he told me about that.
About
That's
that.
how
Isn't
yeah,
that
yeah,
fascinating? And they were so far advanced as a society in understanding what that was, and that they said, well, here's a person that's got both souls.
That's very interesting.
Some of the holiest people in the tribe.
Yeah, they were considered.
That's very...
And now I have to tell you, I don't know what age. I've really been pondering this question.
Yeah, because it's all over the media now.
I know,
with the kids and stuff.
And I know that it's trendy, and I fear things that tend to get trendy. Although sometimes we have to swing one way in order to come back to.
Right.
Do you know what I
another.
think, Lori? Like you said, this is something inbred. I happen to think of my little boy, and I have a grandson that's around all the time, and he'll get into his little sister's dress-up clothes and put them on and walk around the house. But this boy's all boy.
Yeah.
So I happen to think if just because they wear a skirt or their room is pink, if it's not within them, that is not going to change
It's
them.
not going to, as long as the parent or someone in the vicinity doesn't try to push that. Push that
Right.
envelope.
Or tell them it's bad. Take that off. Take that off.
Yeah,
Let them be themselves.
Either way, let them do what they do.
I
It's the
agree.
Indians did.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So
It's such a different place and time though now than when Robert went through it, and he was in
And-
Texas too for a lot of his
oh my
growing
God,
up.
the worst redneck country.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We get it.
I'm sorry.
No,
Okay,
no.
I won't be that
I used to
offended.
live. I used to live in Texas. My daughter was born in Texas.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you're right. Not only
And as you saw, he got beat up a lot.
yes, and I think what I'm saying is Hollywood, when he moved to California, was moving towards those things a lot quicker than Texas was.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Still
and
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still is.
Exactly. It
Unless
still
you're
is.
in Austin, and then they just get hit by cars.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. It's moving more in Hollywood.
Yeah. Exactly.
And we have movies. We have characters now on TV that we actually enjoy. We laugh with them. They're charming. They're adorable. They're powerful. And in that process, we start to change the way we see things.
ABC is really great about that. The network, about having a lot more diverse
Right.
characters.
Characters and it all. Yeah.
So,
Well, Robin and I were talking, and we were hoping, that's why we're writing a series, we were hoping that the book might help parents.
That's
might
who needs
help,
it.
Exactly, might help people, and mostly in all the speaking things I've done, it's really been to address them. So that because that's who's kind of left out there.
Well, and most parents in that their first reaction is to be in denial, like yourself.
Like me.
Well,
You
how many stories have we heard from the transgenders who have come across here have been like, everything was easy except telling my parents, and my parents, it's still hard. I think if parents could just learn to be, they don't have to be personally happy with it, but they have to live with their
They gotta
child.
love
They
their
have
child.
to love their child.
Right.
Exactly.
Whether
right.
it's a male, female, in between, hyphenated, upside down, inside out, queer, not queer, whatever.
Yeah, and I don't care how many books I've read or how many of transgender friends I have. There's no way I can understand what they go through.
No.
So I think the parents, they need to recognize some of this stuff. They need to know how to. You can't tell a child what they're doing is wrong.
No.
If they want to put on mommy's high heels and walk around the house.
Then
And you
let them.
can't assume because they put high heels on and walk around the house that they're going to be transgender.
Or gay.
Exactly.
gay. No, or
Exactly.
Or bi, or anything else.
No.
Yeah,
May just grow up to
exactly.
be one of the greatest fashion designers world
There
has
you
ever
go.
known.
That's right. That's right. Communication. I mean, absolutely, I think the bottom line on all of it is communication. If a parent is in communication with their child, no matter what that communication is, there's an avenue. There's going to be something that you're going to be able to work out.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, wow. I want to meet Robin. When's she coming on the show?
Well, she lives in L.A., and,
I need to send her an email because
Yes.
I would just love to meet her.
Yeah.
And not only did Robin, was going through all of this stuff, Robert, he had seizures, and so not only was he made fun of because he,
Was a little effeminate.
maybe, or he got picked on, but he also could be in a situation, and when he got excited about a situation, he'd have a seizure. Like he missed a whole birthday party because he had a seizure.
He had epilepsy.
Yeah,
Has
so
epilepsy.
right, but he had some surgery that helped.
He had the surgery where they removed the left frontal lobe, part of it, and it made a big difference. So seizures are not so prevalent. There
Right.
are some. They're rare. But I used to think that this is me, right? My own thought about it. When he would be stressed and confused, and he was fighting that internal fight, it seemed like that's when a seizure happened.
Oh.
Very well could have been.
Yeah, it could
Mhm.
have. Yeah, you
The,
get
the
on high stress.
cross-firing between the male and
So
female.
Robert had a
Exactly.
lot going on as a kid.
Yes.
lot going on as
Yeah.
a kid. Is your mom? And I know you're in the book. I haven't got to.
My father's passed away.
Wait, is your mom
and
still living?
She just passed away 2 years ago. You will
Get to that point.
You will get to that, and that's
Now,
what prompts the end.
do we have to take a break and come back with
Yes.
questions? Okay, so let's take our break, and you'll stay with us a little longer, Gloria. Thank
Sure,
you.
love to.
Thank you.
Go ahead,
Oh,
take us out.
you have been listening to the Curvaceous Bounty in Sin City on Vegas AllNet Radio. We will be right back after this with Gloria Parker. Some more. Send some questions on chat if you want.